This is the second time I'm recording this video because my audio got trashed in the first one. And honestly, you know, I want to be mad, but I can't even be mad because I feel like I got my, like, I don't know what I'm trying to say. My points, my what I'm trying to explain, like my, I don't know, script. I just do these off cuff, never a script. But I got my, like, what I want to talk about down for this round, so I feel like it's going to be better than the first cut of the video anyway. So, welcome to what I read in June. Sorry, not June. In May. It was May. It's June now. But this is what I read in May. Do I know what the passage of time is? Anyways, the last month in May, I had the craziest month of my life. It's actually continuing now. I've had like so many emergencies. I had to go to a funeral. I now have to go to another funeral because another person died. I deal with things through humor if you can't tell. And the bright side of that was I had to travel, and so I had lots of time to read. And I read a lot of things that I feel like are hot topics right now, I guess you could say. So we're gonna get into that now. I'm gonna start with, which by the way, this book is just what I read in May. I think I already said that. My last two brain cells are really duking it out right here. Okay, also I got a haircut today, and so I'm gonna be messing with my hair a lot because it's like, I literally got it cut this morning, and you know, it like doesn't know where to sit yet. Like my bangs are like kind of doing one of those. I don't know. So sorry about that in advance. We're going to start with what I read first, which we're not going to talk too much about because I actually have a whole reading vlog for these books on my channel. It was one of the videos I posted in May, and that is Legendborn and Bloodmarked. I read these books because I read Hellbent and Ninth House and then Hellbent by Leigh Bardugo, and they take place at a college. There's a magic society, a secret society. They join, some crazy shit happens, nothing is as we thought it was. The main character has like a tragedy happen in her life, and then she realizes it's more connected to the societies than she thought. And guess what? That's pretty much exactly what these books are about. The Legendborn, I'll start with the description of Legendborn. A girl wants to go to UNC Chapel Hill. That's where her mom went. Her mom ends up passing away. She applies to go to UNC, gets in for this like early college program, goes with her best friend, and then while she's there, she sees like some magic shit happening and ends up infiltrating a secret society that's like based off Arthurian legend, and gets swept into that. Sounds super cool, huh? Well, I didn't really love this. You should really watch my reading vlog for my full feelings and like the freaking emotional roller coaster this book sent me on. I was told this was gonna like change my freaking life and be like my new favorite fantasy book of all time. That was not true. I really struggled with this book. I think of when I had like 100 pages left, like almost the 400 page mark, or the 350 page mark, I don't know. I started getting really invested, and I was like, oh, okay, I get why people like this. But before that, it just wasn't doing it for me, and the world building was so poor that I was really struggling reading, which I read a lot of high fantasy, so if I'm struggling with world building, there's a problem, because I usually pick it up pretty easily, and this was just like all over the place. The way the main character gets thrust into this magical world is basically that she has like a meeting, closed door, meaning we're not in there for this meeting, where he like runs down basic terms for her, but again, we're not there for that, which like, hi, I'm the one tagging along, I'd like to know exactly what we're doing, but apparently we don't get to, and so we don't even see them like go over like what things are called or anything, and then we go into the meeting, the first meeting she's at, and everything is crazy, and you have no idea what's going on, and they're saying all these words, Pendragon, Scribe, Squire, Merlin, all this stuff that like you don't understand what it is, and they don't really explain it to you. You just kind of have to use your context clues.
Good luck, girlie.
Yeah, it sucked. It was terrible. And then the end was good. And then I was like really not sure if I wanted to continue on with the series. Again, watch the reading vlog. You'll see my whole thought process. And then I did, because I had already bought it at the hardcover sale, the Barnes & Noble hardcover sale that happens in January. Because I was told by Carrie Can Read that these were like, again, life-changing, heart-stopping, gonna be my new obsession. So I bought it without reading the first one. Yeah. So I read it. And actually, this book was way better. Loved this book. There's a love triangle in this, and the third leg of the love triangle is way better than the first leg, meaning the second guy is way better than the first guy. He sucks. The first guy sucks. It doesn't make any sense. Insta love. Ew. He's not interesting at all. A lot of the characters in this book were cardboard cutouts and not well developed at all. Then you get into Bloodmarked, and everybody's got backstories. Everybody's got characteristics. They have personality. What? Like, in the first book, I couldn't even tell you 3 things about her best friend besides she's like, her ethnicity, and that she was nosy and annoying. That's pretty much it. Now she's got a whole ass, like, I like her. She's actually a person in this. Wow, insane. Also, we get love interest number 2, and he's way better than the first one. If she doesn't end up with the first guy, with the second guy, I'm going to rate this series a -5 stars because the first guy has no personality. The second guy has so much personality. There was banter. There was like a little found family, a group like going around doing things together. It opened the world up more in this book. Like this was so much better. This was giving me the feeling that everybody was talking about. Still not a 5-star read for me, but it was very good. I liked it very much. So that's Legendborn, Bloodmarked. Go watch the reading vlog if you want really, really in-depth explanations as to why I had a problem with these. Yeah. Anyways, next book. This book is funny because everybody's talking about it right now, and I didn't even read it because everybody was talking about it. I was getting ads for it everywhere, like on Pinterest, TikTok, Instagram, freaking Amazon. Like I was bombarded with ads for this book before I had heard anything about it. And then I went to Target and I saw it on the shelf and I was like, oh my gosh, there she is in the flesh. I've been hearing so much about you from the algorithm that feeds me ads. And I wasn't like even really sure what to think about it. And then I read the back of it and I was like, wow, dragons, excitement, this sounds cool. My sister fell in love with the back, so my mom actually bought me and my sister both copies of this because she wanted us to read it together. And yeah, I read this next. I was reading this in Kentucky on the flights there and back, and I feel like this is kind of a controversial book right now, but also it's like so hyped right now, so let me tell you exactly what I think. Well, first let me get into what it's about. I'm sure you've probably heard by now, but I'm gonna let you know again. So get ready for a synopsis that you probably don't want. This is about a girl who, her mom is like, they live in this society. They live in this society where they like ride dragons, and their like continent's kind of like split in half. Half the continent rides griffins, the other half rides dragons. They're at war like eternally for something. So her mom is like the head of the dragon college, like the dragon soldier college. Her dad dies. Her dad was a scribe. She wanted to be a scribe. Her mom's like, nope, no scribes in this family. You're going to be a dragon rider. She has like a disability where her bones break really easy. She's like very fragile. And it makes you be like, wow, why would you send your daughter there? Especially considering our main girl, Violet, her older brother died as a dragon rider, and he was like much more able-bodied than her. So like, I don't know. Mama Sorrengail's kind of a bitch. So anyways, she goes to Dragon Rider College, and it's really vicious. It's really crazy. People are dying. Basically, you either pass and become a Dragon Rider or you die. And lots of people die in this college. Literally no characters are safe going to that, realizing that. And I love that aspect of it. I love a cutthroat, crazy, like, moment. The story of this was amazing. The dialogue was a little cringe at some points. There was a lot of things that happened that I was like, okay, it's giving third graders. It's giving cliche, like, I don't know, some of the worst parts of Riverdale. You know what I'm saying? But for the most part, the story and the actual, like, I don't know what's going on that way, that was fun for me. There's like the moment when she meets the love interest, they're like, this is very early on. He's like looking off this way, and then he's like, I'm gonna kill you. And it's like, okay, that was a little over the top. I don't really know, dude. Maybe be a little, I don't know. It was interesting. I will say the slow burn it's whatever. I wasn't super obsessed with it. I was more obsessed with the story and the dragons and like, who's her dragon gonna be? What's her signet power gonna be? Like all of this stuff like that I was more interested in than the love. But I can see why so many people are freaking out about this, because it's new adult high fantasy with a adult romance in it. So it has like more mature romance scenes and stuff like that, which like, it's kind of like the fantasy of YA and the readability of YA mixed with an adult relationship. So I understand why people like it. I did like it. I had a fun time reading it. The story was great. Again, like I said, there's some cringe in there. I think a great editor could really be of help for the next book. And I will be reading the next book because I did enjoy this. And I rated it 4 stars. But yeah, that's kind of my thoughts on Fourth Wing. I liked it. There's problems with it. I see why people dislike it, but I still had fun. And the idea, at the end of the day, that's really what this is about, okay? All right, next book. This is where things get a little depressing. Silver in the Bone by Alexander Bracken. I'm going to start off by saying I didn't even know this book was out. I went to Target, saw it on the shelf, and I had been watching Alex's stories while she wrote this book because I really love Alex Bracken. She's from Phoenix. She lives here, which is super cool. She wrote The Darkest Minds, which is like the books that got me back into reading after I graduated high school. I was obsessed with them. They took over my entire life. Like I could have cried to you when I first read them about how much I loved them. She's really big into found family trope and like, I don't know, like just a ragtag crew of people going on an adventure and like bickering and like having like good little banter. It was like, it's fun, right? Then she wrote Lore. I read that. It was a standalone. It was amazing. I loved it. She writes great characters and I freaking loved Lore. My only qualm with Lore is that I felt like I wanted a series and it wasn't a series, it was standalone. So when I heard she was writing Silver in the Bone, it was going to be the first of her new series, I was so freaking excited and I saw it on the shelf at Target, didn't even realize it had already came out and lost my shit. Brought it home immediately. Didn't read a single review, was like, we're reading this, it's going to be great. It wasn't great, which I'm really sad about, and I don't say that lightly because Alex is one of those authors that I would like instantly rate her books higher than they should be just because I like her, but the reality is I feel like the characters were lacking in this. I also like this book is kind of pitched as like magical Indiana Jones. So, like the deal of this book is that the main character's brother has a curse, right, and her brother's the only person she has and she needs to find something to break that curse so they can go on living their life. She has to partner up with her name's Tamsin, which also, what a cute name. Just to partner up with her, like, freaking, what's that called? Arch enemy, Emerus, which, what a cute name, again, so that they can go do this and break the curse, right? Well, the thing is, like, instead of, like, I thought they'd be, like, these people, they break into, like, magical tombs and steal magical artifacts, and, like, that's the whole vibe of this, but reading it, they don't do that at all. This is like a portal fantasy. They jump through the portal and then once they get there, they stay in the same building for the whole book. They never leave. Nothing interesting or cool happens. No one really goes on any adventures. They can't really even leave. And it just didn't do it for me. The romance was like, it was fine, I guess. And I just felt like the characters weren't developed enough and there wasn't enough going on. I didn't like the twists at the end. I didn't feel like they were that great. Didn't really care about them. Yeah, I will not, sadly, not be continuing on with the series. This was not what I wanted it to be. I think I rated it 3 stars, maybe even less than that. Because, like, the writing is good, but, like, I don't know. It wasn't for me. Bummer. Last book, I read this technically in June, but it's getting put in here because I finished it on June 1st. I read Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone for my book club. If you guys want to join my book club, I run it through my Instagram subscriptions. Link is always down below. We're actually voting on our next book right now, and I think we're going to be reading Divine Rivals, which I am so hyped for. But I read Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. I have not read this since I was like 6 years old, and I did not realize how young this first book reads. Like, it reads like very young middle grade. Like, very simple, very like basic, not a lot of like, you're not going to get sweeping descriptions of things, you're not going to get long, like, the kind of foreshadowing you're used to, and I wasn't expecting that for some reason. I don't know why I thought it was going to be rating way older than it is when it really is a middle grade book. From what I heard from book club, again, I haven't read these in forever, but as Harry gets older, the books age up as well, so you start reading like, they don't seem so middle grade-y anymore, and they like, there's more going on. This is like, again, very simple, and there was a lot in here that I was like surprised by. There are a lot of differences from the film in here, and I don't know, I can't rate these books because they are so tied to who I am, like, as a person in my childhood, and they are just so nostalgic for me. Reading this was so comforting, I will say that. It felt like I was just hanging out at Hogwarts, which I loved, even though and also I knew what was going to happen, so the stakes for me personally as a reader were like nothing, didn't bother me at all. Yeah, really loved being at Hogwarts, really loved being with Harry, Ron, and Hermione and hanging out. It was just a good time. I enjoyed reading it. If you've read them and you haven't reread them as an adult, I urge you to. I think I'm going to continue on with the series rereading because I'm excited to get to the more intense books that have a lot more going on and more of a thread through them, but yeah, really liked it. Book club, thanks for reading this with me. Last thing I want to talk about is I made a big purchase, not really a big purchase, but a purchase in May, which was the Kindle. This is, I think, the Kindle original because it's 6 inches, not the Kindle Paperwhite that's a little bit bigger. Guys, I'm literally obsessed with this. I read all of Silver in the Bone on this, and I read it so fast. I read way faster on the Kindle. I love that I can lay on my side and read, and I can like get into all kinds of comfy positions. I can read outside. I can travel with this so much easier. Instead of bringing like 10 books with me, I can just bring this. And you also get 3 months of Kindle Unlimited free when you get this, and I did that, and I'm having the time of my life. There's so many books on Kindle Unlimited that I want to read. And I mean, $10 a month, and I can read whatever I want in there. Kind of a no-brainer. So, really enjoying this. I also had a lot of people ask me questions about this, about buying one of these, because they were like, I'm usually a physical book girly. I love a physical book. Will I like the Kindle? I'll say I did not think I was going to like it, and I freaking love it. Like, to the point that I'm like scared I'm never going to read another physical book again. And you can annotate on this. You can highlight, leave notes, and then export your notes as a PDF with like your highlights and everything. Oh, so awesome. Yeah, I think I'm going to read Book Club's book on this next month. And like I said, there's a bunch of other books that I want to read that are on Kindle Unlimited. So be expecting a lot of those from me. I really love this. Really happy with my investment. Also, it's so tiny and cute. Look at that. Look at her. She's so small. She fits perfectly in my purse. And I can just pop her on and pick up reading wherever I am. It's great for ropings. It's great for rodeo stuff or travel, whatever. Yeah. Highly, highly recommend. Okay. So that was everything I read in May, and it was a pretty good book month. I'm really glad that I got to read a lot. I haven't had a good reading month in a while, so very happy with that. But yeah, hopefully we have another good month next week. And yeah, leave in the comments what you thought of the books if you've read any of these, or what you read in May. Love to hear about it. Would love to know what you read in May. Can I talk today? But yeah, I will catch you guys in the next video. Okay. See you later. I almost just flipped you off. I'm so sorry. I just instantly go to that. Like,